Hello, crochet friends. It's me, Jonah, and let's thank your inspirations for sponsoring today's show and tell. I just finished this Bernat baby blanket chevron afghan, and it is such a fun project to make because it uses a classic chevron pattern, but it's done in double crochet instead of single crochet in the back loop or under both loops. And they decided to stripe it with Bernat baby blanket stripes, so it naturally stripes as it comes out of the ball. But I decided to use two different colors, a solid with one of Bernat Blanket's coordinating multi-variegated colors, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I think it adds a really nice flair and a touch, and it's so bright and comforting. And of course, judging from the name, the yarn used is Bernat Blanket. You need 2 balls of your main color and 1 ball of your accent color, or if you want to do it in a solid or Bernat Blanket ombre or stripes or any other variation of Bernat Blanket, you just need 3 balls in total. And you also need the written pattern, which I will make sure to have linked below, along with the yarn for this pattern. And without further ado, let's begin. And what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to work a bit of this wave pattern because they give you the multiples in the pattern so you can make it any size you'd like. Let's get started. So if I pull out a small corner of my blanket here, you can see that it's a chevron pattern. And the way it's done is different from most chevron patterns. It's not done by doing 1 decrease, stitches, an increase, stitches, a decrease. It's actually done by working an increase, stitches, a decrease, increase, an increase, stitches, a decrease, stitches, increase. So at the top is 2 increases, and at the bottom there's 2 decreases, except for the side where there's just 1 increase to keep it flat instead of shaping out and like having a third of a chevron right here like so. Okay, so now I'm going to work and show you how to do that chevron repeat. So right now I'm working up a swatch with this color, which is another accent, perfect, because it has this light pink in it. And you can see I already have my chevron started. And if you're wondering how I got it to be a perfect chevron without having any extra chains to unpick at the end, it's because in the pattern, your inspirations is wonderful enough to give you the stitch multiple. And for this, it happens to be 14 by 17. So it's 14, and then another 14, plus the chain 3 for your turning chain. So any multiple of 14 plus 17 will work. So the way you do that is by chaining 14, another 14, another 14, and then lay it down and kind of make this formation. And if that's as big as you'd like, add 17 and start stitching. So this is actually just a 1 row repeat. So I'll show you that row repeat twice. So insert my hook, pull off some yarn off my Bernat baby blanket ball, which has 220 yards. Don't be confused and don't get the small one, which has 108 yards. Okay, so your next step is to chain up 3. There I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to yarn over, work 2 double crochets into that same first stitch. And this is your first increase. That'll keep the side straight as long as you make your chain 3s loose enough. And then you're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches, just 1. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to work 3 double crochet, decrease 1 post, the second leg, and the third leg are all on my hook now. So now I'm going to yarn over and pull through row 3, and that's half of a chevron. You can see it comes up, goes down. So now I'm going to work another double crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through. And now I'm going to work 3 solid double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then now I'm going to do a 4, 5, and 6, so 3 more double crochets, but these all go into 1 stitch. 2, 3, and now we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just going to do 3 standalone double crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to work 3 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3. I'll work another 3 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3, and over pull through all 4 loops. Make 3 standalone double crochets and then 3 double crochets in each stitch across. 1, 2, 3, and then an increase, which is 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 2, and then finally 3. Unravel the rest of my yarn here and just put in my third and final stitch of this row and every other row to follow. So here it is. This is your chevron pattern. You start with an increase, 3 straight stitches, 2 decreases, 3 straight stitches, 2 increases, 3 straight stitches, 2 decreases, and in my case I'm stopping with this small swatch just for this show and tell, and then I'll work 3 more straight stitches and 1 increase. And another question I get a lot is, how do you add a border to a chevron blanket? Now if you're doing a solid, this border is pretty good. It's just straight at the bottom here. If I turn it up, because I went under both loops and turned the chain going from the opposite direction. And the top, of course, has your beautiful arrow on top, but even those sides are good, I'm not the biggest fan of the side. So what I like to do is turn my work, and then chain up 1, and I like to put 2 to 3 single crochets in each side of the row. And in the end, a good balance for me turns out to be 5 single crochets over 2 rows. Watch. So I put 1 in here, that's 1. And in the next gap, I'll put 2. And then in this chain right here, I'll put 3. And then in between these gaps, I'll put 4 and 5. And that's, see how it makes it straight? Because 6, 3 needs to be too many to get crowded and spanned out. And when you just do 5, you get a straight edge which does not expand. So my next stitch, I'll do 1, 2, and then going into that chain for 3, 4, 5, and look at that straight, smooth edge we have. That's exactly what you want. And then if we're working along the bottom, you just add an extra stitch to get turning, and then you just can insert your hook, and then just single crochet in each, 2, 3, and then you just have to continue single crocheting going under each of these outstanding loops. I just have 1 loop to go under because I went under 2 loops for the start of my foundation. Like so. It's a little tricky to get under them, but it's important that you just fit under that 1 loop for your single crochet. Then insert, go to my next stitch, single crochet, insert, go to my next stitch, single crochet, insert, go to my next stitch, and of course, you guessed it, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet. And if I just work, let's say 7 more single crochets here, 1, 2, the top stitch is always tricky to get underneath. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And if I flip my yarn ball over to this side and to lay out my work, you can see how on this side it's not very clean, but on this side it's perfectly straight and it swoops down here and even helps propel your chevron pattern out a little bit. So it almost like puffs out. Well, this one just stays flat with this edging and the unclean edge here. But that's all you need to know on how to do the chevron pattern. And remember, the multiple is 14 by 7. So take any multiple of 14 and multiply it by however many chevrons you'd like, and then add 17 chains, and you're all set to go. And then just keep repeating row 2 for as long as you'd like. Or in my case, I like to go until I run out of yarn and make the baby blanket as nicely sized and snuggable as possible. But thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this chevron pattern. And there you have it. That's how you work the chevron on this super easy, super fun, and of course, super fast Bernat Chevron Crochet Baby Blanket. I really hope you enjoyed today's show and tell, and if you did, please don't forget to take a moment and like, comment, and subscribe to Jonah's Hands and Yarn Inspirations for more show and tells, crochet tutorials, and anything else having to do with the fiber arts. Have a wonderful day and crochet away, friends!